Welcome to another episode of The Working Hour with Mike and Shane. I'm Mike, and across from me is my best friend Shane, who is the album selector for this week's episode, which means I chose the bonus track for this week's episode. The bonus track that I have chosen is Robert Plant's Big Log, which we will cover at the conclusion of this podcast. Shane, go ahead and lead us off with the name of the album, and then just start the show for us, man.
Okay. This week's album is Tired of Tomorrow by Nothing. Now, this is the deluxe version, so there are two additional tracks. It was released on May 13th of 2016, so it's coming up on its 10-year anniversary, with a runtime of 45 minutes and 43 seconds. But I think that was the runtime for
Yeah, not the deluxe,
regular.
the standard release. Yeah,
I think you said the deluxe was like 55,
yeah.
56, something like
That's
that.
what the Spotify doesn't break down seconds. I don't think. I think you just get the minute total.
Yeah, I think I must have got that from like Wiki or something like
Yeah.
that. But the genre is shoegaze and dream pop, which, yeah, yeah.
For parts of it, I definitely see it.
Oh no, for sure.
They
Like,
have the shoegaze for sure on like the front side of the album, but I feel like towards the back half, it's kind of like it's still there, the shoegaze vibe, but I feel like it's different,
yeah, and like I don't know,
not as heavy on it.
there are also like there's also some like heavier moments, and then
Mhm.
like there's moments that feel like ripped like right out of like the 90s.
Do you think they remind you like this album? Parts of it remind you of other bands, artists?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got a little bit of Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay, I did too.
There's like one or two songs that I really got. I got like vibes from Hum.
Okay.
I think it might. Let me
I was
see.
picking up on like some Deftones at times with the darker
Sure,
bassy riffs.
I get that. And even let's see here. You know what? I'm not gonna waste any time. I'll get to it whenever I get
We
to
will
it.
get there. Yep.
So that being said, we'll go ahead. Oh yeah, the singles are Vertigo, Flowers, Eaten by Worms, and ACD. Uh, accessible compulsive disorder.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got to read that one slow because it throws you for a little bit of a curve there.
Huh? So,
Use my brain here.
with that being said, let's go ahead. Do you have anything else
I
to
do
add?
not. No.
All
Start
right,
us up.
let's get right into track number one. We have Fever Queen coming in at 2 minutes and 56 seconds. There's a quick squeal from the guitar before the guitar's drums sync up with each other over and over, just bah, 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 for the first like 40 or so seconds before some drums like thump, differentiating themselves from the prior instrumentation. The vocals quickly follow. It's also around this point in that, like, I swear I can hear some of the, I swear I hear like some tambourine in the background. But I mean, it's a lot musically. Like, and that's comes up quite a bit on the album where it's just like
Yeah,
there's so much
it's
going
overwhelming.
on.
Yeah.
But the music is like it's very grand, uh, almost sounding somewhat celebratory. My only complaint is that it can be a bit much at points. The mixing has the vocals kind of getting buried in it all here. Um, that being said, the song is a little sparse lyrically, clocking in at just under 3 minutes and taking a good like 40 seconds before the vocals even hit. The vocal delivery is very drawn out, not in a bad way. It's very spacey and ethereal. Um, Stay, I should know now that I shouldn't push you away. This little bit of like lyrics took like over 30 seconds on the song. Like it's just that little bit
Yeah,
that I
the
rattled off
spacing and how
there.
they
Just
kind of drag it out. Yeah.
yeah. Around 150, the drums hit and this ringing out epic guitar comes in. It's very pretty. In conclusion, I think this song has some really great instruments. There's some truly high highs, but the vocals kind of left a little bit to be desired, kind of flying under the radar, and being just like a little repetitive yet sparse. I gave this a 3.3 out of 5.
Okay. Actually, a little bit higher. I thought, yeah, we have a lot of the same stuff. I thought it was very attention grabbing on the opening with that intense percussion for that first 40 seconds, like you were saying, Shane. Um, The lyrics, so once they break through around that 40-second mark, it kind of jumps right into the shoegaze like floating vibe. I thought with the slow drawn out delivery of "Stay." The lyrics are super short, as you were saying too. Like we have a lot of the similar stuff here written down, and mostly I think, like you were saying, it's under 3 minutes. There's not a lot of lyrics, and that instrumental fade in 40 seconds that really eats a lot of time off the clock. Um, I do like to change from like the first verse to the last verse. Um, I should know now that I shouldn't push you away. Uh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Just the verse that I did like was that I put you in a cage, you broke out of it, too confused to escape. You drink my poison. It was hard for me to really like. I'm trying to take some stuff away from the lyrics. I couldn't really find a lot of depth in the lyrics, but I do like the fact that it's really dreamy and deep. I like that about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of more of a vibe than actually me taking anything away from it. I only gave this a 3.5.
Okay.
Moving on to track number 2, we have The Dead or Dumb coming in 4 minutes 30 seconds. So I thought some solid guitar strumming on the intro. The percussion that follows it up is pretty blunt and tight, like it's very controlled. I do like the percussion on the majority of the album because it is kind of tight, and there's not a lot of cymbal usage throughout the album. I mean, it comes and goes, but the music here really flows from the get-go. There's not a long 40-second intro like we got on the opening track. The guitar intro really reminds me of something I've heard before, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. It reminded me, and this is a stretch because it doesn't sound anything like it. Maybe if "Dead of Night" by Orville Peck was sped up a little bit,
No. Yeah.
but then I played them back to back, and I
The
was
one,
like,
the guitar that like rings out, or just like the guitar in the very beginning. The
yeah,
blam,
yeah,
blam, blam. Yeah,
yeah.
totally,
But it's
totally.
the timing's not right. But I think if you adjusted it, yeah, it's pretty similar. And maybe I'm heard it somewhere else too, but that really, and I'm glad you kind of picked out on that too.
It's funny because I had the song playing. I was like, hey, kind of
Yeah, yeah, that's like one of my favorite Orville Peck songs too.
good
I'm not gonna
song.
lie. But yeah, 30 seconds we get the shoegaze drop, similar to track 1, similar time structure, um, and just off the wall thought too. I've noticed there's a lot of albums we cover where it's like they almost have like the band almost has like a timestamp where it's like 30 seconds to 45 seconds. That's usually if they, not always, but nothing kind of seems to have like a flow where it's usually like 30 or 45 seconds before you really get any lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the time, but it's just something I kind of picked up on. At the 1 minute mark, we get the verse, and isn't it quite the same? And isn't it such a shame? Isn't it such a shame? More like it.
Uh-huh.
Too heavy for the lightness, but weightless in the rain. All our words are wasted. Chuck kind of quiets after the delivery of "all our words are wasted" and goes back into the strumming pattern that we got from the intro of the track. That verse is repeated 3 more times, and each time it's catchy and flowy as the previous, like more catchy and flowy. It's kind of delivered a little differently. Uh, the repetition is definitely there, and that's going to be a theme throughout the album. But as we've brought it up multiple times on the show, if it's not unbearable repetition, it's not bad, and this wasn't unbearable. It was fine. Around right before 3 minutes at 2:57, the guitar kind of breaks through. We get our first guitar solo up to this point in the album, which isn't really saying much because it's only track 2, but still, there's really not a whole lot of guitar solos on the album, and I mean it's not like a super long period of that guitar solo, but let me see here. We go back into the main chorus. This time it's kind of delivered softer after that guitar solo, and the percussion is kind of building up, but overall the volume kind of stays pretty modest. Track 2 is a slight upgrade to me. I didn't really jump on piggyback on what you were saying, but track 1, with it kind of being hard to understand, like to kind of decipher the lyrics because the music was kind of overpowering. I didn't really get too much of a vibe from that here. I thought the lyrics were a little bit more easier to understand. I thought there was better, a better musical showcase on this track, where the sound kind of changed a little bit more, and it wasn't just relying on it wasn't a one-trick pony. Um, Also, like I said, the verse that is repeated multiple times kind of changes in its delivery. Um, from the first one to the final. Overall, I give this a slightly better score. I gave it a 3.7.
Okay. I'm a little higher this time. Track 2 opens much differently than the first, with some echoing layered guitars slowly repeating these like 5 notes. The drums hitting about 15 seconds in, slowly playing alongside the guitar before kind of crashing musically around 25 seconds in. Quickly followed by the vocals at 30 seconds. There is plenty going on instrumentally here, but the energy is definitely dialed back quite a lot from the last song. I was relieved because this really gave the vocals room to shine and not be so understated. I mean, they're still kind of understated, but like a lot less so than
Yeah.
they were. I definitely felt like this song had a little bit more to say. Always tried to keep up, always fall behind, belly pains and headaches inside you. The vocals again have a very dreamlike quality to them, this time coming through more clear. The metallic guitar rings out and echoes multiple times throughout, ending and starting verses, and like basically ending a verse, going into the chorus, coming off the chorus, it's back. The chorus comes off as almost melancholic. Isn't it quite a shame that I fucked up these lyrics? But
Shane.
isn't it such a shame? I did have what you had too. The too heavy for the lightness, but weightless in the rain. All of our words are wasted. After the first chorus, the music pulls back to its quiet sound from the beginning before building back up. After the second chorus, we get a solid little guitar solo. Like you said, it doesn't last very long.
No.
But it sounds good.
Yeah, it was fine. It was fitting.
Yeah.
I could have
Done a little more?
Yeah, I could throughout the album. Yeah, they didn't really touch on it except really on track 2, if I remember right.
I could have done with more bass. Like
On
more
this
bass,
track?
more bass guitar just in general on this album.
Well, I think there's plenty of bass on it, but I could want more.
I don't know. My ear just never really picked up on it all that much.
So, not to get off too tangent, but yeah, I do think it matters because there's sometimes where I do my notes where I listen through my JBLs, my headphones, over-the-ear headphones, and they're fine. But then it's like I'll go out and listen to it in the garage on a big stereo, cranked up, and I'm like, damn, I didn't.
Oh, it's different.
It's different. Yeah, it hits different.
The final chorus is very stripped down instrumentally and almost like spoken word in its delivery before gradually picking back up with the dum 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 with the drums. As all the instruments come back, all our words are wasted. This song was a step up from the last track. It felt more emotionally resonant and contemplative. Thought the vocal mixing was better with some really solid instrumentation. Kind of listening to that solo right now. I gave this a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
On to track number 3, Vertigo Flowers. This is single. 3 minutes and 24 seconds. The vocals and guitars right out of the gate. And I hate. And the music drops. The drums hit. Everything you're saying. Song comes off sounding almost poppy in its instrumentation and vocals. Pop rocky, I should say. I also enjoyed the layering of the scratchy guitars. I noticed until I finally had not noticed. It's fucked up because it says I had noticed. No, not noticed until I finally started taking my notes. Just how few of lyrics there are on this track because it has a really high energy to it. I'd be shocked if this doesn't have the least amount of lyrics off the album. But I said that on track number 3, there's a lot of album to go.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are songs with less lyrics than this.
There's one I'm thinking of that
where it's 4 lines.
Yeah.
It's
there's one that I pulled the whole lyrics because I was like, if I don't, I think there was one on here. It might be this one where I was like, if I don't pull all the lyrics, it wasn't this one that I pulled all the lyrics, but I'm like, Shane takes 2 verses here. He's pretty much got the whole song. Yeah, I'm done.
Nothing does really great when it comes to pacing a song, though. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they can make the mile. They can make it go.
They'll make it stretch.
Yeah, they will.
They'll get the most.
It's all downhill. Okay, you're coasting.
Yeah, they do really great whenever it comes to pacing the song. That I never felt like this song was lacking lyrically. Watch out for those who dare to say that everything will be okay. Watch out for those who want to be anything at all. Coming off the chorus, the drums and guitars pull back before popping off on the next verse. This is also where I start to notice some vocal layering. At 2 minutes, coming off the second chorus, there's an instrumental breakdown through until 2:35. And then the lyrics, they're coming for me. Um, More guitars come in as the song crescendos and the music drags out, bringing the song to an end. Um, I really appreciated the energy on this track. It was similar to track number one, but like a little bit more upbeat sounding. I gave this a 3.6 out of 5.
See, let me scroll down. Oh, okay, we're close. So this has a little bit of a backstory to it. And it's weird too because I thought it was in Vertigo, but maybe that's just the route at Kings Island. Maybe Vertigo is a thing, but Vertigo is when you get dizzy. Well, the song is about the frontman, Dominic Palermo. Palermo.
Sure.
We'll call it that. I'm not going to say it
I'm
again.
going to take a crack at it later. So.
Okay. All right. Leave us some comments. Leave us some hate down there if we're saying it wrong. But he suffered like a physical attack
in Oakland.
Maybe. I just have. It was during. He suffered a fractured spine and other injuries during the assault. I'm not sure where it was at, but it sounds like it was in Oakland.
Okay.
Know what he said?
I don't know. There's a track later on that I found an article by DIY, and it's him and one of the other like main members of the band, and they're breaking down like the meaning of every song off this album.
Okay.
And the Oakland incident is referred to. I'm assuming that's it.
Probably. Let's hope there's not more than one.
But right.
But anyways, yeah, no. So you kind of left off with it saying it was kind of an upbeat track compared to the first two, and I agree. But then when I looked into it, okay, it's got a little bit of a dark shadow that follows it around, but it's another track though with and I'm it's gonna sound like I'm complaining, but I'm really not. It's short, and the lyrics are short and they're recycled quite a bit. This is the one, yeah. Pretty sure Shane will use 60% of the lyrics, just putting one verse. What I pulled was in I hate everything you're saying. Anxiety, it's all about me. Watch out for those who dare say anything. Everything will be okay. Or watch out for those who dare to say that everything will be okay. Watch out for those who want to be anything at all. I'm sorry, you got to bear with me. I got cracks all over my phone screen. Words.
It's so fucking busted. I can't help it.
It's like paydays in a couple days, so I might be able to afford it this week. Again, though, the repetition, the recycling of the vocals, it's working. I'm really not too caught up on it. At 2:10, the music does kind of change a little bit, and we kind of get like a jam session for a little over 30 seconds. And there's a nice like bassy riff in there that's pretty nice. Like I was saying, I did mention it. The track recycles the lyrics, but there is some musical change up, so that's kind of nice. The dreamy feel does kind of creep in a little. With the musical change up, we kind of get back to the shoegaze sound. At least what I grasped was being shoegaze, kind of dreamy. There's a slow fade out on the end of the track. That's kind of a nice addition for me. Really long drag. It's a really long drag out that fades excellent into the next track. This was probably, I hate to say it, but it was probably like my least favorite up to this point of the album. There's just not a lot of meat on the bones to choose from. For me, the best thing it had going for it is that jam session, that like 30-second jam session. Because musically, I think I almost like nothing more musically than I do vocally. Not saying I'm not hating or anything, but just the music that they present, it's definitely a vibe, and it's not bad. I gave this a 3.5, but it's still a fine song, and really, that score is kind of just based on my first two being nothing knocked my socks off, and this can't really be better than the first two, so we're going to stick with a 3.5 on there.
Okay.
Moving on, track number 4. We have ACD, in quotations, obsessive compulsive disorder, coming in at 3 minutes, 39 seconds. To me, this was like one of the more iconic intros that we've had up to this point, and I'm gonna get into it later, but I'm gonna go ahead and bust it out of the gate. And you might even said it, or I might have read it on Reddit somewhere. Nothing has great openings of a lot of the tracks on this album. Like the first 30 to 45 seconds, even to the first minute, sometimes minute and a half, knocks my socks off. Now, whether it holds that or not, that's up for debate. But
Shit, yeah. I'm thumbing through the first like couple songs. I'm like, yeah,
yeah, they're catchy as hell. Um, but this is about 28 seconds before we get any vocals, but the intro is really flowy and it's a little heavy. Um, Nothing like polar opposite of what we had before in the heaviness department, but it's good. Once the vocals hit, the music does kind of subside a little bit uh, as we kind of as it kind of regresses to let the lyrics shine, which is nice because you kind of touched on it earlier. And there's parts of the album where it's kind of hard to understand the lyrics, hard to hear them, where the music's kind of like too loud almost with the mixing. But no, on this track it wasn't. It kind of backed off a little bit musically and let the vocals shine. The opening verse goes as follows: swallow, corrosive, confection, decay, decay. Isn't that how it's pronounced? I forgot my headphones this week. It's kind of like dragged out. Yeah, rotting in the womb. I can wallow in your filth. I live to. Yes, I have it highlighted here. The spacing between the swallow and corrosive, there's just a pause there, like you were touching on it, one of the earlier tracks. How that verse took 30 seconds and there really wasn't anything there.
yeah.
But there's some spacing there between like swallow and corrosive, decay, rotting, I can, and then wallow. Um, it's nice. This was my favorite of the first four tracks that we've gotten this far. There's repetition of the verse. Here we go, or here we are again. Will someone find a cure? Because you know me and you know I'm not well. I always knew I'd eventually hurt you. It flows good and it doesn't seem like really noticeable. The repetition of that verse, unless you kind of pay attention to it. Some of that throughout the album, I think it's you don't really notice it because it's kind of hard to hear some of the lyrics at points.
Yeah.
This really wasn't the case for this one. I thought this track it flowed really well from start to finish. I actually have a little quote here from Sadie Bell at stereogum.com. She described the song, and the adjectives she used here are very good. She described it as a rapid, vigorous drum hidden beneath atmospheric waves of 90s influenced alternative guitar, culminating in vibrant noise that takes you on a dark yet cleansing journey. All that racket is the perfect accompaniment to the song's breathy, emotive vocals and somber
Breathy.
lyrics. Breathy. Uh, in a whirlwind of shoegaze noise, the song honestly conveys the reality of personal tragedy, wrapping you up in emotion and sound. Now, I didn't get all wrapped up in the emotion and the sound, but the track does seem to have like some deep meanings to it. Um, Personally, I didn't find a whole lot in it, but somebody probably did. I don't know if you did. I don't know if you touched on it at all. But I do think the writing is a little bit better here because it does kind of seem to have a little bit of a deeper tone to it. I don't want to say it tells a story, but there's like just sometimes we say there's not enough meat on the bone. This one there probably was meat there. I just don't know if I really ate all of it. Musically, it wasn't anything super crazy. I've liked everything up to this point musically off the album, the first four tracks. But the heavy bass we get on this track and the percussion, while the percussion is pretty reserved, it's still easy to like head bob to this track. I gave this a pretty decent rating.
Meanwhile, I'm over here just.
Yeah, no, it's soothing. I'm glad. Yeah, you laughed. I'm like, what did I say? What did I say wrong?
No,
You're
you're
like,
good.
no, you're doing
You're
good.
right.
I gave this a 3.9.
Okay. Okay. Um. So like the guitar feedback right at the very beginning of the song, first like second or two, it actually reminds me a lot of the song "Heliotropic" by Failure. It's off the Fantastic Planet album, but very similar. But this leads us right into layered guitars, some heavy drums. One of the guitars starts to break off and do its own riff. Um, there's like a musical reset before the vocals come in. Swallow, corrosive confection, decay, rotting in the womb. I can wallow in your filth. I live to. I don't know. the writing of like those lyrics kind of remind me just a little of like something I could hear like Kurt Cobain's writing,
Okay.
just a little.
I was thinking you were gonna go home there.
Oh, rotting in the womb. I'm like, yeah, Nirvana.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain liked Birth and
Yeah, that's for
stuff
him.
like that.
The heaviness of the guitar riff and the drums pair really well with the softer vocals, syncing up at certain points to really emphasize the vocals. There's a quick pause before popping for the chorus. Here we are again, someone find a cure, 'cause you know me, and you know I'm not well. I always knew eventually I'd hurt you. The guitars are layered really spectacularly coming off the chorus, each going in their own direction. It's very distinct, but also playing off each other very well. At 2:17, we hit the bridge as the guitars change up, and I will leave you with a bad taste in your mouth. The guitar rings out and brings us into our final back to back choruses. The vocals become a little buried, with all the music being built up to before the music fades, stopping abruptly to close the song. The song is pretty straightforward. I really admired the instrumentation on this song as the standout. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. On to track number 5, we have 1990 Heaven, coming in at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So there's like some very deep drums to open the song before the guitar comes in. About 15 seconds in, the guitar is very serene and pretty. The vocals hit about 45 seconds in. Very soft and delicately delivered. Again, kind of getting a little buried beneath the musical trappings, but I feel like this is to be expected at this point in the album. With so many bands, there is a clear cut distinction between the vocals and instrumentation. With nothing, the vocals can sometimes come off as like an additional layer of music. Um, and I talked to you about that the
Yeah,
other
no,
night.
that's why I was like, shit. I was like, I do remember him saying that,
Yeah.
and I think I was like, yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
But yeah, they just I don't know, they line up really well with like the guitar, the drums, the see you crying. Like I feel like they walk that line very well without like fully stepping over into here's the vocals. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Bam.
Um,
No, you're right. That's a good way to put it.
softly, so cautiously, then you glide off, so gently, baby. Glide off. The song is easily the softest off the album thus far. I feel like it really leans into the shoegaze sound between its more grandiose elements and its emotion when it comes to its lyrics. I'm living in a dream world. Life's a nightmare. And I don't ever want to wake. I'm living in a dream world. Life's a nightmare. And I don't care how long it takes. The song never really takes off. It stays comfortably in its pace and tone. It comes off as just a nice little break amongst some of the heavier moments of the album. I gave this a another 3.5 out of 5.
Okay, I'm slightly higher.
It's a lot of there's a handful of songs on here that I'm like it would make my like songs and it has, but it's not like the most like enthusiastic like
Yeah.
you gotta
You're
listen
like,
to this.
oh yeah, this is on here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good though.
It's not No Kiss on My Lips by Jonathan.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, 45 seconds in before we really get any vocals. Right off the riff, though, you can tell this is like a different sound from anything this far into the album. Track opens with a slow drum beat that's kind of deceiving for how like some of the other tracks have been. I touched on it a little bit last track. This, I don't want to say this wasn't, but this was probably one of the ones where the intro wasn't super captivating, I guess. Kind of sounds a little bit, sadder, kind of creating, a sad vibe to it. And we kind of get that more with the vocals that come later. It is a sad song, but I think it's bad. Or I think it's bad.
I think it's
I
bad.
don't think it's bad. Like I literally went completely opposite there. What am I saying? I really did enjoy the soft melody of this. The loud snaps from the snare drum. It all kind of really works together. We have pretty much the same lyrics But that see you crying softly, so cautiously, then you glide off so gently, baby. I wasn't thinking about this at all, and this is not for anybody at home listening. This is for me and you. Makes me think of Letty a little bit. It's like, yeah, I see you there crying.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hug her for a minute because she's two. She's got terrible twos. And then you just glide off so gently. You're just holding her and she just slides right off. She's like, all right, I'm going back to playing. I had the same lyrics though. The chorus, I'm living in a dream world, life's a nightmare, and I don't want to wake. I'm living in a dream world, life's a nightmare. Life's a nightmare, and I don't care how long it takes. I brought up a little bit on track 4 being more of an emotional track compared to the peers, the similar or the previous tracks. This track though definitely really strikes a chord up with that. You know, it's definitely an emotional track. I think there's some good writing on this track. Um, Lost my spot here. It's solid writing. There's still some repetition of the lyrics, and for an almost 5 minute song, there's not a lot of lyrics total. But the track does what it does again, and it kind of does work. It didn't really drag for me. Um, it's not my favorite off the album by any means, and it's a little bit of a genre hop from its neighbors, like I was saying earlier. But it's a solid song. It's fine. I gave it a 3.6, possible 3.7. I wasn't crazy about it, but not bad. That will take us to track number 6, Curse of the Sun. I have the runtime as 4 minutes, 48 seconds. Uh, we get more of like a heavy intro on this track, which isn't, I don't want to say it's abnormal, but I don't think we've ever really had one to this point in the album that's this heavy on the intro. It almost sounds like some mechanical distortion on the intro till about 12 seconds, where the guitars and percussion kind of take off from that point. It's really good, high sounding energy, easy to kind of get my attention. We do get some whispering vocals that show up around the 35-second mark. The vocals remain pretty quiet this whole track. Lyrics are decent. Again, though, it didn't really hit a lot of depth with me personally. I think kind of piggybacking on what you were saying, the lyrics sometimes, or the vocals, I should say rather, are almost their own instrument, and this might be one of the songs where you can kind of say that too, um, just because of that whispering delivery. I got a verse here. Sorry, we need a little more. Made of blood and semen, piss and shit. We are never unpolluted, never coming clean. And then that leads right back into the heavy bass riff. The whole song while kind of having like a negative, dark tone to it. Just that made of blood and semen, piss and shit. We are never, or yeah, piss and shit. Are we never unpolluted, never coming clean? It's, I mean, that's some dark. That I could see that being something Kurt Cobain would say.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't want to say it's like hard to understand the lyrics on this one, but again, it's just they're kind of quiet. And everything kind of slipped by me on the early listens. It wasn't really until I listened along with the lyrics that I really got the whole story of the track. There's a decent bit of repetition, but again, there's not a lengthy amount of lyrics. We're kind of recycling everything. The delivery, though, of the "sorry, we need a little more," it's recycled, like I said, quite a bit, but it flows good, and
Nice.
it maybe hammers the whole feel of the track home. I'm a little low on this one. Maybe I'm kind of curious to see where you're at with it. I gave it a 3.5.
Okay. So the distorted guitar opens the song, kind of droning before really popping in 11 seconds in. Song was This was a song that I was looking forward to taking notes on. It really caught my ear on the first listen or two. Wasn't one I was familiar with prior, but definitely grabbed my attention. Again, the vocals kind of fade into the background. The real star of the show here is the guitar riffs. They wear their 90s like post grunge inspiration on their sleeve, often reminding me of Smashing Pumpkins. I absolutely could have seen like some of the music on this being off of like Siamese Dream or something like that. This is made more so by the vocals and occasionally reminding me of Hum just a little bit. Once the music gets going in the beginning, it really comes out swinging with some very nice heavy guitar riffs. The vocals to offset them: overdue, lavish, misuse, sorry, we need a little more. With some like really heavy instrumentation breaking up the vocals. Again, the lyrics can be a bit repetitive and spaced out. At 2:25, we hit what comes off almost as a bridge given its musical change up. It's actually a verse, though. Made of blood and semen, piss and shit are we, never unpolluted, never coming clean. Coming off this verse, we get some very wild guitar shredding, leading us into a solo, taking us into the outro of the song. Useless, useless, we are useless. The electric guitar is squealing alongside the vocals to close the song, coming to an abrupt end. The song really leaned heavy into that 90s post grunge sound I had mentioned earlier. Uh, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Chloroform off of their 2014 EP. I can't remember the name of the EP, but similar vibes. We're close. I gave this a 3.6 out of 5. On to track number 7, um, Eaten by Worms. This is a single coming in at 5 minutes. That's, um, there's a quiet, almost creepy opening between soft delivery of the vocals and the disconcerting low notes from the guitar. Have a laugh, we're friends until the bitter end. So fry our heads. The song then drops with a screech from the guitar and the drums. And the guitar, they come in like both hitting really hard. I also found myself enjoying the lyrics to the song quite a bit. They are brooding and dark, but still have like a melody to them that I kind of like. The pupil spun, blessed be the setting sun. It's loads of fun. Uh, the music softens and we get some piano with some faint guitar in the background. It's unavoidable, it's unattainable, it's uncontrollable, but you know. The music then drops and the song goes right back to being heavy. I like the dragged out delivery. It's almost like the dragged out, almost wandering delivery of bitter. I like that. It's pretty good. At 3:35, the guitars drone out as the drums rev up and build up to a big pop at 4:20 as the
Hell yeah.
ha, as the guitars layer and shred before droning out for the last 25 or so seconds. This is one of the first songs by Nothing I came across, and it's held a pretty solid rating for me. Very much enjoying the brooding sound to it. This is probably like the least like dreamy and pretty song off of the album thus far. It's like I feel like this one's just like in a good way though. I gave it a 3.8 out of 5.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Look at us. So yeah, I just want to start with this band makes me think of multiple bands. Sometimes multiple bands in just one track. They can kind of switch it up a little bit. This though reminded me, and if you're listening to it, especially with the bass riff, it reminds me of "Swallowed by Bush."
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can if you sing along, swallow. You
Swallow.
can time it up and you can kind of make it work.
Yeah.
But the opening verse, "Have a laugh, we're friends until the bitter end." So fry our heads. After I listened to it the first couple times, I should say, that so fry our heads, I really I kept anticipating the drop to be right there, but they kind of drag it out again. They take their time. There is some spacing in between the guitar strums. It's very nice. It's kind of that structure is only really utilized for the first 35 seconds, and then the music kind of drops into that heavy bass led riff that kind of takes center stage. Around minute 47 seconds is the first break we get. The song almost feels a little bit more electronic to me, with the vocals sounding like they have a little bit of some kind of editing done to them. Um, and the music is not so brute and heavy. They kind of work together, and it's an interesting mix, I guess. The vocal music contrast there. There's also sections I thought where I heard some piano, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
I know piano is found a little bit later on. I picked up on some stringy vibes to it. Um, overall, it's not my favorite, but I like the quieter vocals compared to like the previous track. Um, this is a lot easier to understand, I think. And for a 5 minute track, like the runtime being 5 minutes, it flowed really well. Um, I'm more and more with the idea that this band would be better to see live, and I'm excited to see them. I'm expecting it to be a good show,
Hmm.
just because they are like such a vibe, and I feel like sitting at home listening to them or being in the car listening to them, it's just not the same. I'm excited to see them just based on the musical capability they have here, and that's kind of why this song is rated where it's at. I gave this a 3.8, and I think it's mostly just I'm still hanging on what I said earlier. I think I like nothing more musically than I do vocally, and I'm perfectly fine with that. We're gonna move on with track number 8. It's a little thing called "Wait and See" because we're gonna take a quick break real quick,
Ah.
and we'll be right back. Welcome back. We're gonna get started with track 8. Everyone is happy. Runtime 4 minutes, 55 seconds. So this one's got a little bit of a change up on the intro with like more of an acoustic sounding strumming guitar. It's dreamy, like vocals coming around the 30-second mark. Defy Your Solitude, The Ghost of You. The way The Ghost of You is delivered is really good. It's like the high point of the track for me. Again, though, I heard some piano on this track. It's a heavy track in its nature with the softer vocals and like less heavy sounding music. The verse "Your sorrow was empty, but I see is still heavy. Kneeling and praying are the same. You're just begging, and that's a sin." Solid writing there. I thought that was good writing. It's nothing groundbreaking. Like it's kind of like a stretch for me to pull that and say it's good writing in a way, but I think it's crafty. I'll give it that. It's crafty. That verse though is followed up with "Tell me again how you needed a friend again. I don't think of you." Track really kind of like won me over in the first like minute and a half, but it kind of just fell off from that point on. It's still a fine track overall. I just typically like enjoy the front half of the track more than the back half. It kind of just felt long towards the second half, uh, and it's got a decent runtime too, but it just seemed a little spaced out. And that's kind of something. The more we do this podcast, I've learned like, and there's just some long tracks where I'm like, I mean, I get it. It's art. Like, who am I to criticize? But it's like, can we hurry this stuff up?
Yeah.
All right, because it's just like a little bit of filler to me. They kind of spaced it out, uh, and lyrically there wasn't a whole lot there that I really vibe with either. I gave this a 3.4, and this is my lowest track on the album, and I don't think a 3.4 is
No, that's not bad.
terrible.
No.
So
So yeah, this song stands in sharp contrast to the last. The song is much more gentle and tender in its tone, opening with some acoustic guitar and some very light electric guitar alongside it. 28 seconds in, the drums hit, the guitars ring out, sounding very ethereal. This happens throughout the track, but the vocals come in slow and delicate. Defy your solitude. The ghost of you. Really nice. Is moving through. Climb ladders of your thorns to reach your rose is what I chose, I suppose. That's damn near half the lyrics of the song right there. Like, starting to notice a bit of a pattern with this band. Um, there is a little bit of keyboard that comes in after the sets of lyrics, adding to the serene nature of the song. At 3:40 through until 4:15 is an instrumental. The vocals repeat, "I don't think of you," before the song drones out the last 10 or so seconds. I don't have a ton for the song, as it stays kind of one note throughout, but it does serve as another pretty break from some of the heavier aspects of the album. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5.
that makes me feel good.
Track number 9, Our Plague, coming in at 5 minutes and 29 seconds. The song opens with an alternating 1 2 3 beat of the drums. The vocals, guitars, drums, and bass all drop in. This is one of the more standout songs as far as like the bass guitar goes. I feel like previously it kind of got swallowed up by the rest of the instrumentation. Song is very serene and atmospheric, without going too grandiose with it. Watercolored fingers, paint my picture, interlocking tightly, candles flicker. The guitar has this consistent, like metallic ringing to it. The vocals being punctuated by the drums. Promised I could make it on my own. Then at 3:20, the music changes up completely. Heavy guitar squeals and hits these heavy 1, 2, 3. The drums hit with these heavy thuds. The song kind of comes off as two halves. This can be explained by a 2016 interview with DIY. Band members Dominic Palmermo and Brandon Setta described the song as such. Um, Brandon said, I had a super lo fi demo that was the verse riff of the song. And Nikki and I were drunk in the studio in the dark trying to force ourselves to sleep, and we traded demos on our phones back and forth. We came together on this one, a whole lot of built, a whole lot and built the song. It came pretty easily, I think. I wrote the lyrics to the verses about a messed up night in LA. Dominic said, I just remember watching Brandon play this lovely guitar part and humming a really stunning melody and thought, how can I fuck this up totally? Um, then came up with the ending to ruin it all. I personally prefer the softer first half of the song, but that mixed with the heaviness of the second half is pretty much like Nothing's whole thing. So I gave this a 3.6 out of 5.
Okay. So yeah, I like it. The percussion leads us in, like you were saying. Um, it's pretty short. The vocals jump in right around the 10-second mark. I said it earlier on in the episode. I'm pretty sure. This band has really good openers. It's sometimes a little deceiving because you don't really know. They can kind of like change the course for sure. Um, but the first minute of this track is really smooth, and there's not a lot of vocals, but it flows very effortlessly, and it's entertaining. And it's another track. Not a lot of lyrics, not an abundance of lyrics at all. Um, I think I actually did. I pulled all the lyrics for this track because there really wasn't that many, and I was like, I'm gonna get everything because Shane might take like no fault of your own. You take one verse and it's like, oh, it's 30% of the song gone.
Yeah.
But I do like it that watercolor fingers paint my picture, interlocking tightly, candles flicker. Also, like the throwing flowers at her, my worst behavior, changed my tired patterns. If you could change yours as well, I like that one a lot. I feel like there's just a relationship tie in there, like throwing flowers at her. It's like I got you fuck flowers, and you ain't. It's like you ain't gonna be my friend. And then just the change my tired patterns. It's like just your bad habits, and
Hmm.
if you could change yours as well, like I like that. It's okay. And there,
Crafty, you
yeah,
might say.
yeah, for sure. I think I said something about good writing on the last song, but like this right here is better for sure. And again, just that promise I could make it alone. That it's the way it's brought out. Um, I really vibed with this song, and it was really the first of the nine tracks in. This was the first one that I kind of had some kind of interpretation of it, where I felt like I understood the track a little bit more than any of the other ones. So that was a big plus for me. It just seems like I was saying a rough relationship. Even the title, Our Plague, like it's like that thing. It was a thing from Seinfeld where it's like relationships like an organism. You starve it, kill it. But I liked it. Around 3:20 though, that song takes that heavier turn. The percussion and guitar getting very heavy and distorted. The vocals go away, and it's just kind of that heavy and distorted guitar and percussion. I liked it. My only complaint is how long the instrumental is on the tail end of the track. It's 2 minutes eaten up by that. That's kind of a running theme with me. I'm gonna keep beating the dead horse.
Just wait till later.
Um, and I still gave it a pretty good score. I gave it a 3.8. I did like it a lot. I think just the fact that it was like the first track that I felt like I got some kind of grasp on, and I liked it. And the instrumental at the end is not bad. Like I like the heavy boom boom. It's good. It's fine. It's really freaking long. Uh, so yeah, 3.8 on that. And that will take us to Track number 10, Tired of Tomorrow. Runtime 6 minutes, 23 seconds. Um, so for sure here, I know we got some piano on this track. It's the first track to lead with the piano. Let me actually get it queued up here and playing. Uh, so yeah, it leads with the piano. We also get some other strings that come in later on. I'm not sure exactly what they were. Do you have the exact instrument?
I do not.
I'm not that fancy to tell, but I'm assuming, like cello or a violin maybe. But I'm all for that. It's about 40 seconds before we get the vocals. I questioned it at first. I kind of thought maybe it would just be an instrumental. Because this is the actual last track off the original album, right?
Hmm.
Okay, because we're doing the deluxe. So I kind of thought maybe this would be an instrumental. Um, this is also the first track that gave me some Smashing Pumpkins vibes. So take that for what it is. Uh, it is kind of a long track, and I don't have a lot of notes for it. Oddly enough, it kind of to me lacks the energy from a lot of the previous tracks, and it's fine by itself for sure. I think I'm just like kind of locked into this one. I don't want to say one track mind, but like just this typical sound. It varies a little bit, but this is like so off that I think it just kind of like left me dumbfounded in a way. It's like a slow. It's a slow, low temper. It just didn't really do a whole lot for me. Not to mention, we're doing the deluxe, so it's not like really the end of the album. Um, I think this is what I was getting at. Is it's for being the last track. I like it for its placement, even though we're doing the
Mm.
deluxe, so it's technically not the last track. This I hate to be the hater, and again, like I said, I don't have a lot for this one. This is probably my least favorite track on the album. You're gonna be like, I liked it a lot,
Okay.
but I gave it a 3-3. And
Oh,
it's crazy too because it has a lot of musical ingredients that I usually really enjoy, but for some reason I just wasn't crazy about this.
I gotcha. Well, let me check real quick just because I'm
Did
curious.
you go look at your score?
It's my lowest on the album, too. So,
Good.
yeah, song opens with only a piano, very slow, dark, methodical. When the vocals hit at about 40 seconds in, my mind immediately went to Nine Inch Nails.
I can see that too. I
Sounded
like
kind
how
of,
we're a little off there in our comparisons, but I can see Nine Inch Nails.
yeah, I don't know, just kind of had like, I hurt myself. You know what I mean?
Johnny Cash, Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, it sounded very like Trent Reznor esque. Around 1:30, the piano really starts to rise up, and the vocals maintain this whispered sound to them. Stranded in today, clawing from the outside. I'm tired of tomorrow on the inside. Then at 2:10, some strings get implemented, really like adding to the mood and atmosphere and dramatic weight of the song, especially as the strings start to layer and take over before the piano starts creeping back in. The music almost like completely pulls back. The vocals are bare and tired in their delivery. The song then swells back up in the final 2 minutes for the finale. Sifting through decay, rejoice if we are allied, but our everything is empty on the inside. The song then goes full instrumental between the strings and the keys before going quiet for the last 30 or so seconds. This would mark the end of the album. It seemed kind of like a bit of like an epic yet sorrowful conclusion to the album. Not quite dreamy, but pretty in spots with the strings and the piano. And yeah, I gave this a 3.1 out of 5. On to, well, track number 11, but bonus track if you want to call it that. Like it's just as far as like it being a
Deluxe
deluxe,
track.
not our bonus track, but
Deluxe. I was like, wait a minute.
the Heavenly Blue Flew coming in at 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Twinkling metallic guitar with some bass and slow drumming to open. Uh, the vocals drone and fade in about 30 seconds in. Responsibility, I never tried. Probability, but well disguised. At this point, the album is getting a little redundant and tired, falling into the same musical trappings throughout the album. I will say though, when the chorus hits, it does win me back just a little bit. The chorus is soft and especially dreamy with the vocals. What some call love, it's only dust to me. What some call love never meant that much to me. Coming off the chorus, the vocals are still soft and droning, now with some additional layering to them. The song is pretty lyrically. It's pretty lyrically dense, at least by Nothing standards. Um, while they are a bit repetitive, the chorus is really pleasant on the ears. Song doesn't do anything like too crazy musically. I gave this a 3.2 out of 5.
You sickened me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm quite a bit higher on it. I like this one.
I could see myself going higher listening to it now. I'm like, I like this more than the last track.
It's funny. We're literally just sitting here. You're listening to it. I'm listening to it. I was like, "Oh, you're making the cut now, baby." I moved it right into the like songs. Yeah, it reeled my attention right back in with the opening of this track again. Nothing has great openers, and I was kind of coming off previous track not being. It was both our lowest score, so this was probably placement had a little bit to do with it. Um, but it's just a solid riff that turns into soft, smooth vocals. Also utilizing some echoing or like backing vocals or layered vocals, something like that. Um, Never learned about the darkness. It's delivered so slowly and it flows with the music really good. Um, it's almost like a synth effect that harmonizes with the vocals. Even in the opening verse, responsibility, what you quoted there, Shane. I never tried probability, but well disguised. I thought that was a great little rhyming scheme, and I don't want to say unique word choice, but it's clever, well crafted, like you said earlier. Um, the vocals were a little harder to hear at times. It kind of didn't really, the music didn't really resonate with me, and it probably had a little bit of something to do with just not really being able to hear the lyrics. Now, when you follow along with them, you're like, it's really good. Similar, same line that you quoted. What some call love is only dust to me. What some call love never meant that much to me. Only walking on bridges built to fall, running in circles like rats stuck in the wall. Simple rhyming, but it really goes a long way. I think it's kind of a sad, depressing song, but a lot of this album, I was like, man, I know they might play one song off this album when we see them, maybe, if they even do that.
No, are you joking?
You think they're gonna play more than that?
No, it's the 10-year anniversary of this album.
Oh, really?
So they'll probably play a lot off this
Okay,
album.
I didn't know that. Shows how much I fucking know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind.
So, but I hope they play other stuff too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, but that's actually good news to me because I kind of put myself in the shoes of I'm good. If I heard this live, how would I feel? And this is one of the ones where I'm like, man, this would hit really good live. Like I could just see where because some of that stuff's kind of heavy, where you could like jump up and down to it and shit like that. And then you get into this where it's like, man, that's kind of hitting me in the heart, just kind of just swaying and just feeling it. Yeah. So I really liked it. It's sad and depressing, but it's kind of like well disguised in that way. The song ends out with that long distorted feedback from a guitar. Overall, nothing crazy, but not bad. And I think I just kind of like the mellow vibe it has. I gave it a 3.6. You're like, I'm taking it back.
I'm bumping it up to a 3.5.
Okay.
I think like now that I've had like a little bit of a break from the album, coming back and listening to it, I'm like,
yeah, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's nice. That's making the light.
Moving on though, track number 12, the real final song. Tic Tac Toe, 4 minutes 33 seconds. Song takes off right away with guitar. Vocals starting abruptly after. Guitar is a pretty soft strum and amplified sound. Vocals are quiet, but not like a whispering quiet. A little bit easier to understand than the last two tracks. Kind of takes a minute for the song to really get rolling as it explodes right at the minute mark. Right before the minute mark, I'm sorry. With the percussion joining, bass guitar, and our original guitar is kind of cranked up more and it's more electric, more in your face. It kind of subsides a little bit as the vocals come back in. Track kind of sways back and forth from a heavy and soft sound with the vocals, without vocals. We get a verse. What I've spoke, come and done. What I've spoke, come and done. Again. And it's that delivery, the delayed delivery of again, that like really strikes a mood for me, where there's just that pause and then it's again. What was that national song? Today.
Yes.
That just popped in my head. I'm sorry. I like that
Okay.
verse though. It's repeated, but the second time it's a little more spaced out, and like I said, that delivery is really good.
Mm.
If I wait for you, I'd be waiting all the time. If you wait for me, I'd be wasting all your time. I like that line too. It's very self-reflecting in a way. Not it's not a healthy line, but it's deep. I didn't really nothing really resonated with me. It's like I just can't really read the writing on the wall with this one. Um, they're kind of like meaningless lyrics to me just because I didn't really get into it. There's definitely some emotion there, which I can appreciate that. Um, I did I did like this one. I didn't like it as much as the previous track. I don't have a whole lot for this one. I give this a 3.5.
Okay. Will you wait for me? Will you wait for me to try? Will you wait for me? Will you wait for me to lie? Quiet and distant in its delivery as the acoustic guitar softly plays alongside the vocals. Then at 54 seconds, the guitar swell and the music drops, actually reminding me a good little bit of something off You Prefer an Astronaut, just a little bit. With
I could see that.
yeah,
Now that you say that, and we're listening to it, yeah.
with this being the last track off the album and the upcoming show being the 10-year anniversary of said album, um, I think this closing their set before Hum would be like really good. Um, the vocals, right? The vocals come back as the music settles a bit. This is another track that I noticed more of the bass guitar. It's felt oddly absent on this album, at least to my ears. Will you stay with me? Will you stay another day? Can I lit or tear? There is nowhere left to pray. If I wait for you, I'd be waiting all the time.
If you wait for me.
I'd just be wasting all your time. At 2:38, the song quiets back to its initial sound before the music explodes back in at 2:52. Then at 3:37, the song starts to fade out with a good bit of feedback before ending at 3:55. Um, the remainder of the song is just quiet, nothing. Similar to the last track, it's got a decent amount of lyrics, even if they are repetitive. I enjoyed this, just kind of leaning into that like kind of 90s indie rock sound. I give this a 3.7 out of 5. Onto the bonus track. We have The Big Log by Robert Plant. You want to go or you want me to?
Um, I'll go first. I actually have a little backstory. So Big Log was written in the middle of winter. This is from Jeff Woodruff. Woodruff. He's a co-writer of the song. So it was written in the middle of winter. We'd run out of fuel for the fire. We found the remains of an old tree lying outside, which is about 15 feet long, but had nothing to cut it with. So we put one end in the fire and slowly burned it
Mm.
till it was hollow. That's Big Log. I was first introduced to this. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Another tree joke for you. Uh, you probably heard this in Grand Theft Auto 5 too, I would imagine, because it was in GTA 5.
Okay.
And I did not care for it at all. Like I was like, oh, cool, Robert Plant.
Mm-hmm.
And this was his second solo album, I think, after he left Zeppelin. Uh, and I did not care for it at first. And then a couple years later, and this was me liking his album with Alison Krauss that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
And she'll come up in here later. Actually, her brother plays a role. But yeah, I didn't care for it. And then I got a little older, and like in the last 2 years, I'm like, I really do like this. Um, but the basis, and I don't know, yeah, I don't know if he's. Anyways, Victor Krauss, Alison Krauss's brother,
Mm-hmm.
covered Big Log on his 2004 album from. It's called Far From Enough, and that's who his sister was Alison Krauss. They did the album Raising Sand, which is really good. We'll probably do it at some point as long as we keep doing this.
Right.
We've talked about it before. I don't think you've ever really listened to it, but I actually have a physical copy of it. Um, there's also a Big Log version done by My Morning Jacket. I think I played that for you,
Oh,
or
okay.
I played it for Lindsay last week, and she's like, "Oh, who's this?" So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"I like it." That is a good cover too. If you like this version, you should check out the cover. No, it's not My Morning Jacket. It's Local H. It's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Overall, the song to me is just like a nighttime drive sort of vibe to me. I really didn't get too in depth with everything, just because it is the bonus track. It's a very simple rhythm with the hand clapping and the drum machine. The opening verse is really solid, a lot of imagery and solid writing. My love is in a league with the freeway. Its passion will rise as the cities fly by. As the cities fly by, and the tail lights dissolve in the coming of night. And it's good. My favorite verse is just the "There's no turning back." No, there's no turning back. On the run, and the way it's delivered is what I like about it the most. It's not something for every day, and honestly, like it's kind of fallen off for me a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I was listening to it probably at least once or twice a week because it was just like in rotation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a solid track to me. I'm gonna bump it down. I originally gave it a 4. I'm gonna go 3.8 on this because I did like it. If you're lower than that, though, I could totally see
Okay.
and get it if you were lower because it's like I said, it's good, but I don't know any other big stuff from him in his solo career other than this.
Okay. Song opens with like some twangy electric guitar and a drum machine. The mix of different tones to the song is kind of wild. It sounds like kind of poppy, kind of contemporary rock.
It's 80s.
Yeah, and then also has like an almost western sound to it. I feel like this should not work nearly as well as it does.
I agree.
It's a lot that's like those are very unique things you're pulling together here, but it works. The electric guitar is really pretty and dreamy. Kind of feel bad using dreamy to describe it since I used it so much to describe the album that we just reviewed. Um, it's about 55 seconds before we get to the vocals. Plant's vocals are as soaring and folky as you'd come to expect. My love is exceedingly vivid. Um, Red-eyed and fevered with the hum of the miles, distance and longing. My thoughts do provide. Should I rest for a while at the side? There are some brief moments of backing vocals. Leading me on,
Yeah.
leading me on,
Very 80s
driving
classic.
me on, driving me on. At 3:45, some string starts to come in. I wasn't expecting this song to add in orchestral elements. At points, they almost have like an electronic sound to them. The last 25 seconds of the song gradually quiets to close the track. This was an interesting song to say the least, pulling together all these different sounds and genres. I thought it had like a 90s contemporary sound to it, but it's really early 80s.
Mm-hmm. It's like 82, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised by that. I wouldn't have guessed it.
And you didn't hear it
Instantly.
on GTA 5, right?
If I did, I was like you, and I was kind of like, nah.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't think the rock station in GTA 5 was that great.
yeah,
I like the soundtrack on San Andreas way better. Than
There's
I did
other
GTA
shit.
5.
I was usually just kind of like thumbing.
Flylo. I liked Flylo.
Flylo was good.
FM was good.
I was usually just kind of thumbing through to see if High Pressure Dave was on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or Waves.
Yeah, or Waves, exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like, or Higher Love, if Higher Love was on.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be lit.
Saxophone therapy.
I feel like if it were a different singer, this would not have worked as well as it does. Except for maybe Bowie. I could see Bowie like doing this and it'd be pretty good. Similar enough. While I'm not crazy about the song, I am impressed by it sounding as good as it does. And I can respect that it's very well made. I give this a 3.3 out of 5.
Gotcha.
So
Next
yeah.
week,
Next week.
my album will be In Streams by Centaur. Kind of hanging on the festival we're going into. What do we got? Like
Slide Away. Next Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say next week.
Yeah.
Counting down. So yeah, Centaur In Streams. Bonus track. I'm gonna blank on it on the top of my
Born
head.
Slippy by Albert Hammond Jr.
Slippy. So, tune in next week. We'll record that for you guys.
All right.
Till then.
That all being said, don't work too hard now.